How to retune your vibration. I'm Brian Withers, empowerment trainer, coach, and author. Well, this is a continuation from the last video about tuning your vibration, and I want to go into get more detail and more into the specifics of tuning your vibration, because as I said last night, the things that we want, the good life we want, not just the things, but all of the parts of life that we want to be working well for us in satisfying ways, they are at a high vibration. When we are streaming high vibration as our regular thought energy through our day, then we're flowing. We're flowing with the satisfying days that we want, because all those things we want are at that high vibration level. Now, remember the creative process. We talk about contrast. That means there's going to be things that happen in our life, even when we're high vibration, that are not as we want. But when we understand the creative process, we understand that's the natural asking of life, so that we don't look at it like a bad situation anymore. We just say, oh, that's the asking. That means our life has actually improved. Our inner being has set up the new preferred experience. And then we turn our focus to the excitement of receiving that and the path of receiving that. So we know that the good life that we came for, in all regard, is the life that we live when our present moment conscious thinking mind energy is positive emotion. That's high vibration. And that allows us to flow in all the good ways, receiving all of the details, all of the right timing and everything that just lets everything flow. But as I say in many videos, we're not living that life. And again, to sort of repeat that, why are we not living the life, the satisfying life that we want? Why is our life not changing? We have lots of people saying lots of things about how to get things to manifest differently. And there's still just many people on the planet looking for, how do you really do it? How do you get it working on a permanent basis? How do you get that change so your life really changes in a permanent way, that you're living it differently, that the things that you want to be different start to be different and stay different in ways that you want them to stay. So as we look at physical reality and we see lack, absence, uncertainty, we continue to broadcast low vibrations to the law of attraction. So here we are looking at our relationship situation, or our housing situation, or our job. Could be one or more things that we're looking at and we're not satisfied with them. But instead of looking at them in sort of the creative process way that allows us to feel good where we are and make peace with everything and look forward to what's coming, we get really hooked into physical reality, like it's the thing, like we're kind of stuck there, like it's hard to get away from it. When that's not true at all, because it's no more than like a movie on the wall. It's the manifestation of our energy. And so if we just back off of physical reality, thinking it's so fixed and hard and permanent, then it becomes easier to work with. And when we realize that as we look at our physical reality and we do feel lack and we do feel absence and we do feel frustrated, and we think of how am I going to get what I want? What do I have to get? What do I have to do to get it? When is it going to come? Or how can I change it? All these questions enter our mind when we don't know the creative process. And so they just perpetuate more low vibration, not thinking we can have what we want, just really thinking that physical reality is the thing that is, and no real concrete, permanent, guaranteed way to get it to change. And so what my work is all about is to help you understand that physical reality is a very flowing, temporary thing that's always based on your energy. And that not only do we have physical reality that we can think about, we've got vibrational reality. So all of those things that these physical things cause us to ask for, the preferred situation is really queued up for us and it's at the frequency of positive emotion. You want them because they emotionally feel good. You feel the emotion of joy and happy and fun and satisfying, and those kinds of emotions tell you that the thing that you want is a high frequency energy. And then here we are in our physical world thinking low vibration thoughts about the things that we have, and just not having that confidence that we can change our life into what we want it to be. So how do we do that? How do we start to look at the life that we have so that we start getting this frequency out of the cycle, right? Because you can see you're in that frequency to law of attraction. Law of attraction returns the same thing. You look at it, you still don't like it, you send that frequency, and you just see the cycle goes round and round and round. And it's not that this stuff is permanent, this physical stuff is permanent. It actually keeps manifesting. It keeps manifesting in the same way. You think it's the same thing, but it's not the same thing. It's just the same manifestation because you're offering the same energy over and over and over. So how do we get this to be this, and then this arrow doesn't come there, that arrow will come over here, right? If we do that. And that's what we're after. That's what I'm going to show you here, how we can start to bring our thought energy away from this and into the natural high vibration place that is natural to us, and then get our life changing into our natural high vibration life. So let's see if we can take this a little deeper. So negative emotion, that's this low frequency energy, and when that goes to the law of attraction, then it returns the same thing, and that's why life doesn't change. So that's the indicator that there's a faulty belief. Remember, we picked up those faulty beliefs when we were growing up, and they told us all kinds of things that we weren't good enough, or we didn't really know if we could have what we wanted to have, or when it was going to come, or who we had to know, or what resources we had to get. So faulty belief meaning you're thinking you can't have something that you want because it's hard to get it, or you don't know how to get it, or you don't have the resources to get it, and you don't know how to get the resources to get it, or you are not feeling worthy to have it. And so we do get excited at times in life because it's natural within us, and then because we don't know the how and the ways to get it really to happen, we want to spring into action. But it's like, well, what action do I take? What's the action that's going to get me there? And see, that's not the way the creative process works. The action part, the figuring out the action part, is not our job. That's our inner being takes care of that. And so I'm going to go into that more in a minute here. But what we want to know is when we feel negative emotion, this faulty belief is active. So we've got to get that thing to be deactivated, so we're not thinking thoughts like we can't have what we want to have, or we're not good enough to have what we want to have. We got to get away from those kinds of thoughts. We want to, basically when they come up, we want to be able to prove those kinds of thoughts to be false, like I can't afford that, and there's another faulty belief. Or, am I smart enough? Faulty belief. Life is unfair. Faulty belief. It just goes down the list, one after the other. And what we got to get to is the point where we just stop that voice in our head and say, we want to prove it to be false, that it's nonsense and it's absolutely ridiculous. But we have years of thought habit that it's the way that it is, and we got physical evidence that that's the way that it is. And we have physical evidence because a belief is something that we hold as true, and it's not that it's that way of the belief, but it manifests that way because we believe it. And if we change the beliefs, then it manifests differently. So the evidence is not telling us the way life is. For example, if you want a house and it's not the house that you want a different house, you got evidence that you're living in a certain house, and you're saying, well, Brian, there's the house. It's not the one I want. Where's the one that I want? And we got to realize that the host that you have is the evidence of the energy that you've been offering from the faulty belief that that is the best host that you can get based on the job that you have or some other criteria that is not true of the creative process at all. So we really do live a very false life in terms of what we expect and what we can have. And it's time that we really get that stuff out of our head. And so let's look at how we can do that. And before I go on, I just want to say, we see once again, it's not about manifesting. None of this stuff that I teach is, I'm not teaching manifesting. I'm teaching achieving high frequency thoughts. Here's what I'm teaching. How do you get your mind in these high frequency, good feeling thoughts? Because when you do, then the byproduct, the manifestation of that energy is going to be what you want. Right now, when you're experiencing things that you don't like, it's the byproduct of low vibration energy. So it's everything's a manifestation all the time. It just depends where your energy is. So faulty belief energy, of course, is low vibration energy. So let's go a little deeper with how we start to do that. So how do we start to talk with ourselves so that we can start to feel good about any situation? Now, what I'm promoting to you is that because of our faulty beliefs, what's really important is that we're connecting with the creative process that tells us the way life really is. So if you hit a situation and you feel like or you're feeling a negative emotion that tells you there's a faulty belief, then you've got to stop. You've got to stop and have a little conversation with yourself. This is the only way to stop that momentum. There's just no quick magic pill out of this. The momentum is in your subconscious mind with the faulty beliefs, and it's running just like an engine running in your car. It's running, and you gotta make it run differently, let's say. And so we want to start to introduce into our mind something different. So if you think, again, you have a job and you think, oh, I'm stuck in this job. What am I ever going to do to get out of this job? How can I get another job? The job market is tough. The government regulations make it tougher for me to get a job. All these things that we think outside of ourselves, the way that government policy is, or the way that the economics are running, or something to do with our education, or all these phony things that have no bearing on us as the creator of our reality, and we could have anything that we want. But faulty beliefs make us think we can have what we want for all these crazy reasons. So when they come up, we've got to start with the creative process and lay that foundation why that statement is not true. So let me go over to the creative process. And we look at the creative process and we say, we came here for joyous expansion. That's the reason that we are here on this planet in this physical body. And what is joyous expansion? We have that little conversation. Well, joyous expansion means that I ask for what I want by living my daily life, just by going through my life and having the experiences that I have, by going to my job or my business or whatever I'm doing. I'm with friends, I go to the gym, I shop, I take care of my bills, my whatever. Just our regular daily stuff. And as we're doing it and we feel dissatisfaction on anything, something's not the way we want it to be, our car, our house, our relationship, you name it, anything, that there's an asking in that. And that dissatisfaction is an asking. Our inner being sets up the experience that we want for us as a vibrational reality. We just got to get this in our head, and it's not going to go in your head, overnight. This is something as you start and you keep repeating it to yourself, because this makes logical sense. This creative process makes logical sense for sure as you go through it, and it starts to feel more real. And then again, if you do those intention experiments, and that shows you the effortless showing up of things. And if you do enough of those, and some people will say, well, that's just sort of a coincidence. Anybody can get a pink balloon or a purple car or, these things showing up in their life. But I'm here to tell you, if you do that for 30 days in a row and you start to add a few things that like are really kind of odd things that you wouldn't expect to see. I think somebody said to me a purple Rolls Royce, and they never expect to see that kind of car in their area, and certainly purple. And within a couple of days, I think it was, they had seen one. And so if you do that on a daily basis, and you just get into this idea that, wow, every time I think about these things and there's no resistance, that's why I call them easy, no resistance, and they're showing up. Obviously, there's something to this. This creative process is, it's really describing what's going on here. And the reason that the house and the money and the other things don't show up is because we have those faulty beliefs. And so when we think of the thing like the purple Rolls Royce, seeing that, or a purple football, or a green balloon, or whatever it is, a pink tennis ball, all kinds of examples there. And you could even like I say, you could say, well, you could keep increasing those kinds of experiments to be a little bit more than just something out of the ordinary to see. And then you'll see that could be birds with certain kind of bird that you've never seen or something like that. It just starts to wear on you. You just think, wow, this is the way it goes. So if I can stop thinking those limiting thoughts about the things that I want, then there's no reason the house and the job and everything else couldn't show up just as easy as those other things. And that's absolutely 100% true. So as we go through this process and we say, well, I came here for joyous expansion, I'm automatically worthy. I'm a worthy human being. This universe loves to see me ask, loves to see me receive and ask for more and get everything I want. And it's all along those pathways. It's not an instant thing, because the path of receiving happens over time, and our inner being decides that. So we don't have to be concerned about time at all. Inner being sets up a path of details that make it comfortable for us to receive. And so we trust that, and we start to trust that. And then, we feel better and more solid on this creative process day after day. And then if you're keeping track, and I was calling it the 6 stages of manifestational change, but I've added a 7th step. And I'll talk about that in another video. But we can really track and see that we're trending towards new manifestations, right? So many people want to go from, I've got this house to this house. But you see, the momentum that's going on right now that supports the manifestation of the house you have is different from the momentum of the house that you want. And you just can't jump the momentum, right? You just can't do that. That's a gradual shift from one momentum to the other. And that's what the 7 stages show you, that you're trending and you're making that gradual energy shift so that the host that you want is going to manifest. And then once you get that going, then things will stay at that level. But right now in humanity, we're just at this place where we've got a lot of faulty beliefs. And when we get that all cleaned up, life is going to flow a lot more fluid for us. But right now, we've got to get through this sort of beginning stage and get cleaned out of these faulty beliefs. And knowing this creative process is really something that you have to have as a foundation that you can rely on and say, well, this is why I can have what I want. And this is why I don't have to be concerned about how it's going to come. You have that conversation with yourself. I don't have to take care of the details. That's my inner being's job. My job is to go through my day feeling good and finding the ways to feel good about everything in my day and my past and what's on the way. And, I talked about in the storybook video how you can keep, that journal, your story journal, and it's 3 sections: your present life, your past life, and your vibrational life. Your vibrational story, your current life story, and your past life story. And that's all set up to help you keep focused on all of that stuff in a good feeling way. And it's all based on this creative process. So you gotta set this foundation. This is like a farmer with their field, and the foundation of their crop is the soil of their field, that it's rich in nutrients and it's ready to absorb the seeds and support the seeds in their growth. And the creative process is like that. When you have that, then you have this foundational, fertile a vibration, thought energy that allows for the manifestation of the things that you want. So as we go around on the creative process, we see as we're supplying high vibration thought energy to the law of attraction, then we're going to be receiving the details to receive the things that we want. And there is a momentum thing that's going to happen here in sort of part 3 of this, whereas we're feeling good feeling thoughts and we're displacing those faulty beliefs and we're changing the momentum, that there's going to be a lag time. And that's why the 7 stages of manifestation change are so powerful and so helpful to you, because you can see that you are progressing through those stages, and you're certainly on track. Things are happening, even though the physical world is not manifesting differently yet. Your energy is changing for sure, and you can see indicators of that, so you can feel really confident. And that's very important, because you've got to feel confident that things are changing, that you're living your daily life, and you're changing the positive emotional energy. It's increasing. And that's that momentum shift that as you get there, it's kind of like you hit the tipping point, and then things start to flow in the other direction, going more your way. So this is so important that we learn how to talk with ourselves in the ways of the creative process, because that's part of how we're going to say to ourselves that it's nonsense. These things I'm thinking are nonsense, because when I feel negative emotion, that means I'm having a thought that doesn't agree at all with what I just talked about in the creative process. It's all faulty belief stuff. It's all thoughts from faulty beliefs. And, we want to put that hand out and stop that thought and say, okay, you're nonsense, and this is why you're nonsense, right? You're telling me I can't have that job I want, or I'm stuck in this job, and that is absolutely nonsense, because my inner being knows the job I want from my life experience, and it's ready for me to receive. So as I focus on the positive aspects of the job that I want, and I'm looking forward to the receiving of the job that I want, I get in the emotional essence of that job, then I'm going to receive it. So the thought starts to go out of your head that I'm not stuck. I'm not stuck at all. I'm getting excited, that things are unfolding for me. Everything's going well for me. It's set up to go well for me. And as I supply that energy, that good feeling thought energy, it starts to change. So the first part of changing the low vibration thoughts, right, about your physical reality, is to be able to say to yourself, well, this is where I am, and that's okay, because it means I've asked for more of what I want, and it's on the way, and my inner being got the details handled, all the where and the when and the who and the how. That's all taken care of. So when I'm thinking, well, what's the next thing I got to do? I don't need to think about that anymore. It's like, what's the next thing I'm going to think to feel good? And invite that action, not go figure out that action, but invite the inspired action. So that's the first part. In the first way you start talking with yourself to start to soften those faulty beliefs, which will start to deactivate them. So as soon as you have that conversation with yourself, so you can say, well, that's not true that I can't have the job that I want. It's not true that I can't have the money that I want. It's not true that I can't have the loving relationship or anything. I can have anything I want, anything. All I got to do is my part, which is supply that good feeling thought energy in all the ways that I talk about in these videos, and again, in your storybook. So you're saying it's not true, and then you're saying what is true, and then again, that's more talk about the creative process. What is true is I came here as a vibrational being to have desires, and they're going to be born out of natural living of life, and my inner being is there with me and setting it all up, and you go on with that story. So every time you get a negative emotion, you got to stop and repeat this story. And after a while, you do it and you do it, and you get that repetition going. So now we see we're doing the same process that happened to us as kids, where we repeated messaging that was faulty, and we got faulty beliefs. Now we're repeating messaging that is true about life, and we're going to create those true beliefs and displace those faulty beliefs. So once we have that conversation with ourselves, we feel some relief. We feel like, life is okay. Life is good. I can make peace with where I am now because I understand it vibrationally. I'm not feeling out of control, and I'm not feeling like I can't get my life to go differently. I'm feeling more in control, so I'm feeling more optimistic, more expectation, feeling good about myself. All of these things start to come around. And then we can start to talk in either general or specific ways about our desire, because now we laid the foundation. We laid the foundation about why we can have what we want. And now we can start talking about a job. Oh, I love the idea of a job that's fun and interesting. Now, that's a very general way to talk about it. You could get down into the nitty-gritty details. You could say, I'd like to have a job in engineering, or I'd like to have a job in music, and then you can go into the details about that. You can go as detailed as you want, or you could stay general. It doesn't matter, because when you're feeling good about the generality of it, then you're here. You're here at that high vibration frequency. And if you go into the specifics, you're still here. That doesn't change. So you see, you can be general or specific, and that's really nice. And you will get more specific. And this isn't going to be in your storybook. As your vibrational story, you're going to talk about the things that you want and why you want them and why you can have them. So we move, as we talk through this process, we move from this place of feeling powerless or out of control or not sure how things are going to happen. It doesn't feel good at all. And then we start to ponder. See, we're going through this process of talking with ourselves about the creative process, and we're pondering, it's not like I used to think it was. It's different than that now. I have this knowledge of life. So we're pondering. And then as we go through it, then we get right back. We're feeling good. We're feeling good. Physical reality didn't change. None of this changed yet, manifestation, but we got the emotional change. How am I going to get it? You don't wonder about that anymore. Oh, my inner being is going to, set it up to be delivered through the law of attraction. And what do I have to do to get it? Well, I don't have to do any make it forced action. I'll invite the inspired action with my high vibration energy. And when is it going to come? I don't care when it's going to come. My inner being is going to make the path so good that when I'm high vibration, the path of my days is going to be very satisfying. And how can I change it? Well, I just do my part in the creative process, and I offer that high vibration energy. And then when the inspired action comes to me, right time, right place, synchronicities, I'm going to follow that through, and that's going to be sort of the delivery process of the things that I want. So we see that we can talk with ourselves and tune our vibration in this way, and this is the way to do it. There's no shortcuts. This is the power, using the power of your conscious mind to keep your focus in your conscious mind in a good feeling place. And as you do that, you also are displacing faulty beliefs at that very same time. So you can see over time that you're really transitioning and retuning your vibration. And in the next video, what I'm going to do is I'll go into specific things. Like, people have asked me questions. How do I feel good when I got neighbors that are unruly or negative? How can I think better thoughts in that situation? I'll run through that. People talk about health. They talk about jobs, money. So I'll talk about some specific things, and we'll just go through how do we retune our vibration to high when we're feeling low. So as we're looking at these various aspects of our life, how do we use this retuning process that moves us out of that low vibration into this high vibration? Even though we're looking at this and this hasn't changed, we can take charge of our conscious mind and bring it to this frequency, this high frequency. And as I said, as we do that, then what happens is we start to move this arrow away from this repeat of the things we don't like, and we start to bring in the things that we want from vibrational reality. And that's a beautiful thing when you know that and you know how it works, because now you're in charge of your life, and you never have to say you can't have anything, and you got to depend on things around you to be in a certain way for you to have what you want. You don't. You do not have to do that at all. And you can also see now why there's no specific thoughts that you think. There's no one. I can't say think this thought and it's going to make you feel better, because it's the emotional energy that is going to put you in the same vibrational frequency of the things that you want and the good life that you want. And the thoughts are going to be different for each one of us, how we get there. But when you talk generally about the creative process, everybody's going to maybe use it in a little different phrasing, but it's going to be pretty similar, except to when you get to the specifics of the thing that you want, then it's going to be more unique to you. But you can see it's about choosing thoughts that I let you get, because here's the key. The thought's not the key. The emotion that goes with the thought is the key. And so you can't teach thoughts, specific thoughts, to get to the key. You can just teach people how to think thoughts about the creative process and talk about their dreams and desires in ways that feel good to them, and it's unique to everybody. So that's one reason that you can't say do this specific thought process and you're going to get this. That doesn't work. And the other thing that is helpful to know here is that a lot of people want timing. Well, how do I know when it's going to come? What can I do so that I know it's going to manifest at this time? And that is just absolutely 100% out of our physical hands, because our inner being handles it. So it is part of us that's handling it, but it's the non-physical part of us that's handling it. So we got to trust that too. So there's two elements that show you why there's no such thing as a manifestation technique. There are thinking techniques that get you to good feeling thoughts, absolutely. And then there's the understanding of the creative process that can certainly get you to good feeling thoughts. But there's no like you go to the store and you give so much money and you get a product. No, it's not like that, as you can see. So I think that gives you a pretty good idea of what's got to happen for you to retune your vibration when you're starting to feel negative energy about the things in your physical life, negative feeling thoughts, and stop them right in their tracks and come up with a new dialogue. Call them out. You're false, you're nonsense, you're ridiculous, and then go into a dialogue for whatever, 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. You'll get better at this as you do it. It's like everything when you start to learn, it's a bit clunky, but you'll get very efficient at this, and these words and these thoughts will come to you very, very quickly, and you'll get to relief. You'll get to that relief very quickly from a place of negative feeling energy. And that's a really, really great thing. This is empowerment at its best. Absolutely. So start that training of your mind, so that when the negative thought comes up, you start to talk in this way with yourself. And again, I'll have the next video, and I'll just drill down a little bit on specific situations so you can get an idea. But that's what my books really teach you to do. The Book of Life and my 20-week program and Higher Vibrations for Health, Happiness, and Harmony. Their aim is to get you to be efficient at this kind of turnaround on negative feeling thoughts, so that your present moment energy, present moment conscious mind energy is high vibration, and you are displacing those faulty beliefs. And of course, once you get them displaced, then the momentum is going to be there for you, so things will be more right on track. There'll be no drag on the path that your inner being has set up, because right now these faulty beliefs create a drag on receiving the path, make it really slow down, or a little bit or a lot. But once we clear of those faulty beliefs, then there's that element's not present, and still then there'll be the path, and time will still be a factor, but there'll be nothing slowing it down. We won't be traveling with our emergency brake on. We'll be just free flowing and receiving the path in a very joyous way. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there. If you have any questions, leave them on the post. Thanks for listening in, and have yourself a great day. And this right here, this video, if you've been watching all my videos, this one is kind of a culmination of everything that is in those videos to get you to the point now where you understand the creative process and you know what faulty beliefs have done to you. You know the power of your conscious mind, and now this is how you use it. This is how you retune your vibration as negative energy comes up. Get yourself back in positive over and over and over. And this is it. This is the state-of-the-art information on the planet to change your vibration, get back into your natural high vibration mindset, and of course that will be your natural high vibration life. And as a byproduct of that, all those things you want start flowing, and they come to you in very satisfying ways. You're in no rush. You enjoy the path. That's what you call natural life. Okay, thanks again for listening in, and I'll see you on the next video.